Alright, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to pick out the proper subwoofers and amplifier combination. Now first off, some of the sites you can go to for your best picks are going to be Amazon.com, Sonics Electronics, or Crutchfield.com. Now things to look for in subwoofers. Right now I got an Alpine Type R 12-inch and the subwoofers with 300 to 600 watts RMS. Now you're going to want to go down to the technical details, and you're going to want to look at what what it is. So for this one, we've got a 12-inch and it's a dual 4-ohm, and it says never ever look at the power peak handling. That's not true. You're going to always want to look at your RMS. That's your continuous power. So this one's rated at 300 to 600 watts in between there, RMS, which is decent. So when looking at your impedance, it's a dual 4-ohm, so you're going to have to remember that a dual 4-ohm into an amplifier is going to be a 2-ohm load. So what you're going to want to do when you got a 300 to 600 watts RMS. Now, I already picked out an amplifier that'll work. This one's of course more expensive, but you can find cheaper ones. This one is 500 watts RMS, but you always want to go down and make sure that it's rated at, see, into the amplifier it's going to be 2-ohm load at a dual 4-ohm. So this one's 500 RMS at 2 ohms. So that'll be perfect for it, because that'll be not over 600 but not too close to 300, so you have like the perfect amount. If you're wondering how to wire your sub and amplifier, I'd recommend going to Crutchfield. They have free diagrams for you. So it's just Crutchfield.com, or you can just type in Crutchfield wiring diagrams and then you just scroll down. Now the subwoofer we were looking at is a dual voice coil, and we only want just a mono amplifier because we're just getting a Class D mono, not a 2-channel. So what you're going to want to do is you see these right here, it says SVC and 2-ohm, 4-ohm, 8-ohm, and then 1D VC, 2-ohm, mono low input. Well, we've got a dual voice coil 4-ohm mono subwoofer. So what you want to do, you want to click on that, and there you go. It just pops up like that. It tells you exactly how to wire your positives and your negatives, and you see how it says a 2-ohm load. That means that RMS at 2 ohms is running. That's how much it's going to run to your amplifier. So when it says 500 RMS at 2 ohms, that's what your amplifier is going to be putting out into your subwoofer. And this subwoofer is rated at 300 to 600 RMS, so that'll be plenty for your sub, and it won't overpower it. We'll go back to the subwoofer that we were looking at before, and make sure you check the reviews, because some of the sellers aren't, accountable. But it looks like this one's got all good reviews. There's one review I saw in here that it's just because they didn't have very good service and it didn't arrive or fit in his enclosure that he had. But for the most part, this has got good reviews for subs. Alpine Type Rs are very good subwoofers. If you ever just want to go on an instinct on one site, you want to make sure you check all your options. So I'm going to quickly go over here. I'm going to pause this and go over to Crutchfield and check prices on this subwoofer. The exact same subwoofer here on Crutchfield, and it looks like the price here is $250. Amazon is about $90 cheaper, so you always want to make sure you check and just don't buy on an instinct on these sites. Now I'll go ahead and head over to Sonics Electronics. Here, SonicElectronics.com actually does not have the Alpine Type R 12-inch. So Amazon has currently got the best price. So I would recommend you'd probably buy from Amazon. Amazon usually has got the cheapest prices out of all of them. Just like we checked on the reviews for the subwoofer, we're going to check on the reviews for the amplifier as well. And it looks to me right here that this has got very solid reviews, and Alpine is a very good brand for amplifiers. They're more expensive, but they will last you a lot longer. If you're looking for a subwoofer box, you're going to want to type in, the size of your subwoofer, obviously. So 12-inch subwoofer box. Okay, now you get all these choices here. and you want to look for one with good reviews. And when you're looking at reviews for the boxes, I'd recommend looking for Alpine Type R, because ones that, if they're completely enclosed, you don't need to worry about it, but ones where they have a port in them or vented, you're definitely going to want to check to make sure that Alpine's sound good in there, because sometimes you can get either too big of a hole or the hole isn't completely right, and your sub's going to sound, it's going to rattle and it's going to sound like crap. When you're looking at wiring kits for your amplifier, you're going to, this is the one I got right here, just the DB Link 4 gauge. You're going to want to be careful though, because after going over 750 to 600 watts RMS, you're probably going to want to, sometimes even 1000 watts RMS, you're definitely going to want to go that 0 gauge wire. Another thing you want to be sure of is the wire. Some of the wiring here I realized was not the best, so I would, it's not bad, but I would probably upgrade, to better wire, a little more expensive, better copper, so that power goes through a little easier. But other than that, I haven't really had too many problems with this kit. It worked for my subwoofer, and it's good with the deck and everything. There's no problems with it. It's got really good reviews, but if you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna go anything over 750 to 1000 watts RMS, I'd definitely go the 0 gauge wire. Another thing you want to make sure of is that when you go the 0 gauge wire, you make sure that all the one second here. Make sure that all your fittings are, the proper wire, because if you get something that's not proper, and you got, just check the reviews if you buy any other kind of wire. You're going to want to look for, if you're going to go anything over 750 watts RMS, I'd recommend getting a capacitor. If you're doing anything over 1000, you're going to need a high output alternator and a battery that's made for it. But we'll look up a capacitor here. Alright, see, the reviews aren't very good for that. Right here, here's a good one. You can get a 2 farad, but usually just 1 farad from 750 to 1000 is just fine. They're a little difficult to hook up. You can see different videos of that on YouTube, but it's pretty cheap and it definitely works. It's got good reviews. But if you're going to go anything over 1000 watts RMS, I'd definitely recommend getting a high output alternator and an upgraded battery, bigger battery. But that's all I have for you, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks.